What's up guys, JNO here, and welcome to another Rumours To Reality. We are doing a rumoured transfer that probably could happen in the summer transfer window, but who knows, maybe even in the January transfer window. And that is John Stones, but it's not to Chelsea, it's not to Arsenal, but it's to another club that have shown some interest, and it's to Barcelona. That's right, we're going to see what would happen to John Stones and his career if he decided to join Luis Enrique at FC Barcelona. If you want to see more Rumours To Reality and the next series, make sure to check out my channel. There will be a link in the description. And now we'll go and have a look at John Stones in 2016 when he's just made his transferred move 1st of July to FC Barcelona. Okay, so in 2016, these are the stats that John Stones managed to get in the season with Everton 2015-2016. And we can see his strengths lie in his tackling, his marking, his passing is pretty good for a defender, penalty taking is pretty good for a defender, heading is definitely one of the pluses that he has, with composure, bravery, concentration, positioning, natural fitness and balance. He's got a spirited personality and scored his first international goal versus San Marino in 2015. And his stats for Everton before he made his move, we can see that he played 25 games in the Premier League with 1 assist and 3 player of the matches with a 7.26 rating, which is pretty good. But internationally, if we have a look, he had 6 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 player of the matches with a 7.8 rating. The side that he's going to try and fit into still has Gerard Piqué, Mark Bartra, Thomas Vermaelen, Jeremy Mathieu, Javier Mascherano, who isn't in jail in this save, and that is quite a lot of stiff competition for John Stones to get one of 2 centre-back positions, although he can also play on the right, and if he was going to play there, he's got even more competition in the likes of Douglas, Dani Alves, Martin Montoya, Alex Vidal can play there, as can Adriano. So a lot of competition for John Stones in this Barcelona side. Can he break into the team and make something of himself in Spain, or will he be like a lot of English players that go abroad and just doesn't quite cut the mustard? Let's go forward a year and find out how well John Stones did at FC Barcelona. Okay, so we move on to 2017, and as we can see, Barcelona managed to win the Liga BBVA title with 97 points, beating Madrid by 2 points with Atletico coming in third. They dominated the BBVA, but let's have a look at how John Stones did. And what you will notice first of all is that FC Barcelona don't have John Stones in the side anymore. So maybe this is an omen for John Stones. Do not go abroad to ply your trade because it just won't go that well. If we can find out where he went to and go to transfer history, and they sold John Stones for 21 million to Manchester United. Now Manchester United aren't one of the main sides linked with John Stones at the moment, but we will continue on with this episode and find out how John Stones does at one of the big clubs in the Premier League. And then maybe the next episode I do of Rumours To Reality will be John Stones going to Arsenal or Chelsea. We will see what happens next week, but let's see how John Stones has done at Manchester United. Okay, so he's collecting those caps. He's now at 11 caps. His stats have improved a little bit, but if we go to his history, career stats, at Barcelona he played 1 game with a 6.6 rating, so he wasn't really given a chance at Barcelona before he made his £21 million move to Manchester, where he made 9 appearances and got a 7.04 rating. So to be honest, it's looking so far like maybe John Stones should have stayed at Everton just to make sure he gets that regular football at a club that maybe isn't a top 4 side but can always challenge for top 6. If we have a quick look at how Manchester United did, they came 4th in the league with 78 points behind Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester City. And with the amount of appearances he had, John Stones really didn't stand out as one of their best players for Manchester United. But as you can see, they did win the Euro Cup and they were runner-up in the Capital One Cup. And if we just have a quick look, you can see they have Laporte and they also have Ross Barkley. So they've strengthened their side quite a bit and they've gone and bought 2 of Everton's promising youngsters. Let's go forward to 2018 and see how John Stones did in his first full season for Manchester United. Okay, so it's 2018, the Premier League season has just finished, and we can see that Man United have got second place, which is definitely an improvement on their recent positions in the league. They've come above Chelsea and Arsenal, just losing out to Manchester City by 3 points. And if we have a look at how they did in all competitions, we can see that they got knocked out in the first round of the European Champions Cup by Leverkusen. European Super Cup, they were the runner-up. English FA Cup, they were the winners of, and knocked out in the fourth round by Newcastle in the Capital One Cup. John Stones actually got the highest average rating for Man United in the Capital One Cup, but seeing as they got knocked out quite early, that doesn't really show us anything promising about John Stones' career at Manchester United. If we have a look at his overall club record for 2017-2018, we can see that he had 10 appearances overall, with one player of the match and a 7.24 rating overall, whereas in the Premier League, 12 appearances and a 7.12 rating. So he's still not really setting the world alight. He's now up to 13 caps, so he's only improved his caps by 2. So it's not really going that well for him, and it still looks like maybe he should just stick around the club where he's guaranteed first team football. Now let's move on to 2019. Well, if John Stones is still at Manchester United, at least he can say he was in a Premier League winning team, because in 2019, Manchester United win the league with 82 points, 6 points clear of the nearest rivals Manchester City. Manchester United also won the European Champions Cup, so if he played any games in the European Champions Cup, he can say he's a European Champions Cup winner. Knocked out in the 6th round of the FA Cup by Norwich, won the Capital One Cup, and were runners-up in the English Community Shield. And if we have a look at John Stones, he is now 25 years old, just for the record, and he had 17 appearances overall for the club, with one player of the match, 3 yellow cards and a 7.13 rating, and in the Premier League only a 6.94 average rating. So it's not going too well for John Stones with his move to Manchester United. But I suppose he has won some trophies, but this isn't really where we want John Stones to be by the time he's 25. He does, however, now have 27 caps for England, which means he's definitely been picked for England a lot more. But if he was getting regular first team football, I reckon he'd be a lot better than these stats are showing right now. We now move on to 2020, and Manchester United have won the league again. 87 points, 7 points clear of their nearest rivals, which this time was Arsenal. So Manchester United are definitely on a roll, but how much of a factor has John Stones been in the success of this season? As you can see, they also won the Club World Championship, the European Champions Cup, 2 years in a row. Vincent Aboubakar, top goal scorer with 10 goals. European Super Cup, they've still failed to win that, but they've now gone and won the English FA Cup, and they won the Community Shield. John Stones is now 26 years of age with 35 caps, and he finally got a pretty good season in comparison to the previous ones, where he had 19 appearances in the Premier League with 3 player of the matches and a 7.25 rating. Overall for the club, 31 appearances, 1 assist, 5 player of the matches and a 7.31 rating, so it's definitely looking up for him, but it's taken a lot longer than I would have expected. Let's go on to 2021 and see if he can improve on the appearances and the overall performance with the average rating. Well, Manchester United have now won the league 3 times in a row. Tottenham got second this time, which is a surprise, and Man United only beaten by 2 points. Manchester United also won the Club World Championship again. They were knocked out in the European Champions Cup by Bayern, and it was won by Chelsea. But the European Super Cup, they finally managed to get their hands on. And to be honest, with all these competitions, it looks like they didn't really focus on the FA Cup or the Capital One Cup, and they lost in the Community Shield to Arsenal. John Stones now has 49 caps for England with 2 goals, and he had 31 appearances for Manchester United in the Premier League, 2 goals, 1 assist, 7 player of the matches with a 7.53 rating. Overall club record, 46 appearances, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 player of the match ratings with a 7.53 rating. So finally, John Stones is starting to perform at the age of 27 years old in the league and in continental competitions as well. It's taken a lot longer than I'd expected, but maybe Manchester United just had better defenders and now they've lost them, they're starting to play John Stones. Let's go forward one more season and see if he can improve on his first real good season in this save. Well, Man United are just unstoppable. They won the league by a clear 10 points, getting 92 points in total. So Man United have just become unstoppable. However, they were knocked out in the European Champions Cup in the quarter-final, runners-up in the FA Cup. They'd won the Capital One Cup, and they were runners-up in the Community Shield to Newcastle. John Stones is now on 57 caps at 28 years of age, and he upped his appearances by 1 in the Premier League, getting 32 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 players of the matches. His average rating went down to 7.43, and overall for the club, 45 appearances in the season, 2 goals, 2 assists, 3 player of the matches, and a 7.43 rating. So it looks like what this is telling us is John Stones shouldn't move abroad because it will slow his career down. Because as you can see, he went to Barcelona, 1 match. He moved back to England, 9 matches. Then it went to 12, 14, 19 before he really became a regular in the 2020-2021 season. What I'll probably do next weekend on Sunday is I will move John Stones to either Chelsea or Arsenal and see if that makes any difference in his performances in an FM save. I've been J&O, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure being on the FM Scout channel as always, and I will catch you guys next time.